Someone shared that legacy media in the US, including the Wall Street Journal, began to criticize pro-Trump Chinese dissidents. Someone replied, "This is reminiscent of the hypocritical immigration policy advocated by the Democratic Party. On the surface, it may appear that discrimination does not exist, but in reality, they would only advocate for the immigrants who support the left's radical policies." Someone shared a timeline about the history of Venezuela. In 1992, it became the third richest country in the hemisphere. In 1997, it became the second largest purchaser of 5150. In 2001, the Venezuelan people voted for socialist president to combat the so-called income inequality. In 2004, private healthcare is completely socialized. In 2007, all higher education becomes free. In 2009, socialists banned private ownership of guns. In 2014, opposition leaders were imprisoned. In 2016, food or healthcare shortages became widespread. In 2017, constitution and elections were suspended. In 2019, unarmed citizens were massacred by the government. It took only one generation of progressive leadership to plunge this country into civil war. However, despite the process of degradation that Venezuela went through under the socialist regime, some people still seem to believe that the radicalism that has increasingly gained popularity in traditional democratic countries is not the same as the radicalism espoused by the Communist Party, and that it is impossible for communism to take root in a democracy. Someone replied, "America is only one step away from becoming the second Venezuela." Someone shared this letter that Emily Murphy, administrator of the General Services Administration, sent to Joe Biden on November 23rd. She announced that she would make certain post-election resources and services available to Biden to assist in his presidential transition. She also noted, "I have dedicated much of my adult life to public service, and I have always strived to do what is right. Please know that I came to my decision independently based on the law and available facts. I was never directly or indirectly pressured by any executive branch official, including those who work at the White House or GSA, with regard to the substance or timing of my decision. To be clear, I did not receive any direction to delay my determination. I did, however, receive threats online, by phone, and by mail directed at my safety, my family, my staff, and even my pets in an effort to coerce me into making this determination prematurely. Even in the face of thousands of threats, I always remained committed to upholding the law. Contrary to media reports and insinuations, my decision was not made out of fear or favoritism. Instead, I strongly believe that the statute requires that the GSA administrator ascertain, not impose, the apparent president-elect." Someone shared that members of the radical left not only threatened her, but also the family members of Republicans who refused to certify the election results in Michigan. Someone replied, "Justice may be late, but never absent. There is a reason behind the mounting challenges that Trump has been facing in this election. If everything had gone smoothly as expected, people may not come to realize how particularly precious the value of justice is. If the evil were not allowed to make waves, it will be difficult for everyone's heart to be touched by this battle between good and evil." A netizen from Australia said, "I know of many people who have been questioning this year's US election. They are from all over the world. I am not a Trump fan, but I defend fairness." Someone replied, "I was not a Trump fan before." Someone replied, "All people have the right to decide whomever they want to support. But the key issue lies in that we, the people, just want fairness to be upheld." Someone replied, "We can't accept robbing and stealing in public. This is not a question of whom to support, but a matter of fairness and principle. If the radical left can do everything as it desires, what's the point of the rule of law, faith, and civilization's existence? America would then become the second communist China." Although the US mainstream media continues to publish fake news, the American people refused to accept the lies. Someone shared this picture, which shows the Biden curve printed on a large billboard. Someone noted that it is located in Pennsylvania. Someone suggested a few things that Trump supporters could do. Number 1, quit Facebook and Twitter and start to use Parler. Number 2, stop solely relying on the so-called mainstream media to get your news. Do not watch CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and NBC. Number 3, try to support small businesses. Someone shared this video clip, which is a speech that an 18-year-old college student delivered at a pro-Trump rally.
It is not Joe Biden who's the president of the United States. They don't decide that. We decide that. Every single person here, the media doesn't tell us who the president is. CNN doesn't tell us who the president is. We decide who the president of these United States is, and we have decided that Donald J. Trump is our president. He's our president. He's our president. There will be 4 more years of this president. Just a week ago, I was proud to cast the first ballot of my life for this president. And I will not allow that vote to be stolen. I will not allow them, through their nefarious tactics, to steal this election away from the American people. Because if we let them do it again, if we let them do it now, they'll do it 4 years from now. They'll do it again and again and again. We will lose our country. We will lose our democracy. But what they do not realize is that we are here and we will stand up and fight. Every single one of you. We are in this for the long haul. We are not going to roll over and allow our country to be taken away from us. We're not going to allow our country to be stolen away from us. What they thought is they thought we didn't exist. But if you look around, you see the person next to you, and I see the people all the way back there today. Guess what, guys? We do indeed exist. We exist. We exist. Donald Trump didn't need dead people voting for him because he had every single one of you. Every single one of you. This election, the stakes cannot be overstated. We are in a battle for our country's foundational values. We are again at that point that Reagan once talked about it. We are in a time of choosing, where we must decide what type of nation we will be. Will we be a nation of lawlessness and open borders, or will we be a nation of law and order, a nation where the American people are put first, where we are still able to say, God bless America? That is the country I want to live in. That is the country that I love. That is the country that I adore. And that is the country that we are out here today to fight for, to protect.
Someone replied, this young man firmly proved that people are not primarily divided by race or skin color, but by their views and values. He allowed me to see the hope of mankind, especially in the mundane world that we are all living in now. This is not only an election, but a battle between good and evil.
Child, we will take you in. Child, we will bring you home. You'll be a flower that sees the spring. Soon a dove flying high.